and they're like riddled with, you know, metal and liquids. They get up to the belt and they suddenly remember all of a sudden like the 50 different things that they need to unpack and like stick all in one bag. That was me today.
What's the weather looking like in Hamburg?
I haven't actually checked. I didn't bring a jacket though, so just crossing my fingers that it's properly German and I'm properly Finnish. My biggest pet peeve is when people put their underseat bags up on top. I'm gonna be stress dreaming about the finals. We've entered the single elimination phase of the year. Every single game we have from now until the end of next month is single elimination. So it's like you never know what you're gonna be doing next week. If you're just gonna be done and sitting at home depressed that you lost, or if you're gonna be, you know, elated and going on with all the other teams. It sucks. It's the best and the worst part of sport. It's the reason that sport is so satisfying, because winning is so awesome and losing sucks so much.
Nice goggles.
Good night, sweet prince. I don't sleep very well anymore. 10 to midnight or midnight to 2 a.m. Too many years since like 2012. Basically, I gave up on sleeping from 11 p.m. till 3 a.m. in order to build my business. So now I gotta retrain myself how to sleep. So let's see if we can meet my dad.
Oh yeah.
And board the next flight. Let's try to do both of those. Barring the first one, let's at least accomplish the second. I thought that there was a passport control that put you through into the airport, but I think you can only do it if you have a connecting ticket. So that makes sense now.
What? So you're not meeting your dad?
No.
What happened?
He doesn't have a connecting ticket, so. There's two passport controls, right? There's one that leads out of the airport, and there's one that leads into the airport. And you don't get to go into the airport unless you have a connecting ticket. Next time, Dad. Or Monday, when I come back. You're living in my house. Alright, let's go get on this plane. Well, I'm already behind schedule. I was supposed to work on a presentation for the team on the first flight. And it's kind of like that time in the season when there's a lot of stress. You feel like you start to regret, you know, every single little thing that you did throughout the entire season that you could have done harder or more or better or longer. And those things kind of all add up to just barely not being good enough, you know. And the one thing I always tell the guys when they go on stage is you don't want to leave with regret, so you have to, in the game, take every opportunity that you have before you to win, because the worst thing that you can do is have that feeling like, oh, I wish that I had done this, right? But when you're on stage and you leave with regret, it's because you kind of like don't live up to your own standards that you set for yourself and what you know you could already accomplish. That's really hard. So like my job is like everything up to the game, right? And trying to work on what I'm gonna do over the next day and a half to most impact Sunday's matches on stage. And that's all my agenda for the day, really. And then, since I'm insane, I also have other stuff I want to do. Yeah, 100%, yeah. And that's the exact mindset that I have about my coaching. Like, I look at the other coach, I'm like, I'm sorry, I'm just better than you. Like, that's all there is to it. Second flight, and I got too excited to sleep now, so now I'm just gonna start working on stuff. Because, you know, I really should be sleeping. This is a really stupid idea.
Bye. wish you all a very nice rest of the flight. Very good day, and have a nice weekend.
He does.
All I can think about is, where's the restroom? It's like the nicest version of Ryanair you'll ever fly. Time to find this hotel. I've never been to this airport, but it's way nicer than the Berlin airport. Or actually, you know, that's not true. I've never been to the Berlin airport. I've only been to Tegel. I fly Finnair, so no television, no Wi-Fi, no, you know, like old planes that have been repaired and they work. That's their, you know, redeeming quality, is that they function and that they're cheap. And the seats are kind of comfortable. So that's all that really matters. Have you seen the what was it, the feature piece G2 put out, like Kings of Europe Fnatic versus G2 in the semifinals? Carlos's pump up hype speech was good. Fundamentally, like it crossed a lot of T's and dotted a lot of I's of like good psychological principles. Like talked about the growth he saw in the team. So he highlighted like the growth points in terms of their mental resilience and their willpower. And then the gummy bear scene. The gummy bear scene was the best. So I've won 2 finals now. One final at Madison Square Garden with CLG, which I couldn't be there. I was really kind of miffed about that because I put a lot of work into the team. From the moment that we finished Spring Split all the way until Madison Square Garden, you know, working with them every single week and doing workshops and even going out for boot camps, and the whole family was there, and it felt really great to see, and I was like so mad that I didn't go. That was satisfying, like even seeing from afar, because it was like an apex of all these amazing things happening, right? Like CLG winning their first championship after like a 4-year drought or whatever. Peter winning his first trophy, his first actual trophy. Defeating TSM, like completely, like no questions, just like outperforming them like from start to finish. And then on the professional side, like we had a really interesting and regimented training programs that like scaled up the training, you know, in terms of volume and like pulling back on burnout at the right times. And I felt like we just structured training really well for peaking. Like we peaked at MSG like harder than any esports team has ever peaked. That's not true, but just so many things about that finals that I really like, except the fact that I wasn't there. And then I won Vancouver summer 2016 with TSM, which was the opposite of winning it with CLG, right? Because like CLG took it and then they took it again, and I got to be on the other side of that rivalry and like take it back, and I got to do it live in the venue. First time the team came into town, I got to like, it was the first time I went into Toronto, and I got to take an Uber in Toronto, which was cool, because riding in all by myself, like thinking about, oh my gosh, we're gonna play there, and we're gonna stay there in that high rise, and it's epic and insane, and Riot puts on the most well-structured, crazy, curated events. It's just nuts, like everything is just so taken care of. So anyway, yeah, found the team and kicked off our training that first day. It's like 10 feet.
allowed?
Yes.
Oh.
This is good. We should go sit back at the restaurant we just left. We were just at that restaurant right there. And they were like, don't film our sandwiches. So we were like, okay, bye. So we went to that restaurant. They were like, cheese.
I miss that about big cities. Just people peeing everywhere.
It's so nice.
Oh, look, an Apple store. I need to replace my 5. My 5 is like broken. The battery is all swollen and
Poofy. This new 15-inch is like the same weight and thickness as my current 13-inch. I want it. I guess we are actually going the right way somehow, so serendipity was with us. Hey look, I found our League of Legends team. Oh wait, that's a Spanish one. They used to be TSM Snapdragon, and then they were like, nope, no naming rights for teams because that's just cheesy. This just sounds dumb, you know.
Yeah.
They wanted to keep the sport less like Formula 1 and more like, you know, football, NFL. So they said teams can't sell the naming rights, or you know, you have to have an approved name basically. So now it's just TSM and G2, but in this league that I don't know exactly what the specifics are, but they're in a league in Spain and they're G2 Vodafone because there's no naming rights there. I mean, there's no naming rights laws. So that's cool.
We are reaching for the stars, but we're making this too hard. And I wonder where you
My German is bad. How's your German? I'm studying Finnish and also studying Japanese. I've had hilarious escapades in German. I was pointing at a cake and I meant to say like, was ist das? Like, what kind of cake is it? I wanted to know if it was Black Forest cake. And I kept saying, wo ist das? Wo ist das? Like, where is this? Where is this? And I'm pointing at it. The lady's just like, get this crazy American away from me. Lots of saying like, I'm taking this out to go instead of eating it here, and I'm taking this here instead of taking it out to go, and then ending up with the wrong combination of food.
2 or 3 times, and the worst part is that the freight companies own the tracks, and there's not a lot of trains because there's not a lot of trains. So anytime a freight train shows up here, you can try
should take it slow.